Hey, welcome to Tactical Tuesday. This is the starter kit forum or essential group of guys that gets together, analyzes game plans, analyzes players' plans, analyzes the rules on how they apply to the game plans, and then we also field questions, and then we also look at game of the months. Everyone plays game of the month. We go over all the games and we learn from each other. That's what Tactical Tuesday is all about. Learning from each other, learning from the games, and applying what rules we know. It's application of the rules. None of this is going to be in the rule book. All the rules are simply in your rule book. Highlight them and go on with this. What we're not about is teaching the basics of starter kit. We're not going to teach you what range is. We're not going to teach you what your morale level number might be. We're not going to teach you how to use Vassal. None of that is the realm of Tactical Tuesday. That's what you should know already as a player. If you don't know any of that stuff, please read the rulebook. It's quite explanatory. Tactical Tuesday is for even beginner players that may or may not have played other people, but here to decipher and answer questions they might have about the rulebook, about what they've read. So that's what we're all about, taking your game to the next level after you've done your homework, and then hopefully you'll enjoy your SK games much more. Thanks, and let's get on with Tactical Tuesday. All right, welcome to another episode, ASLers. This is one of the games, the scenario games of the month. This happened to have been played prior to actually selecting this as game of the month, but it's a common scenario. There's not a whole bunch of SK scenarios in 1, 2, and 3 anyway to pick from. If you've been playing for 6 months to a year, you've probably played them all, so it's not that special. This one was played prior to it. Regardless, it's got a lot of great things going into it. It's combined arms. It's Sherman marches west, of course, is the scenario. Hunts the tanks right over here. So a lot of what I want you to point out is this is one of the few, not fewer, but one of the scenarios where you definitely need to see how you could take your game to the next level. You know, I want you to listen to what Craig has to say. Listen to exactly what he's going through during the game as he's trying to narrate the game, right? Looking about where his progress is, where he's making really good strides, and where he's bogging down during the game, or where his opponent's bogging them down and making really good strides. So look at it from both sides. There's a couple key things in almost each scenario which cause you to either win or lose. Check these out. The scenario, we point them out at the end, and that's just a couple of them that I spotted from the end. From a spectator's perspective, he may have thought of other things that made a big difference because he actually played the game. So there's a number of things we point out that are done really well, and other things that you could possibly maybe account for, or things like that. So there's a lot of ebb and flow to this game, so pay attention. Run it at 2 times speed, and you'll see how it progresses. It progresses pretty well, and it's a nice, hard-fought battle that I think you can learn a lot from in terms of just continuing the game. You know, Squad Leader is a game where you probably, in most of your games, need to play it out. You never know when the guy's going to go on a streak of 12s or 11s or 10s. I mean, if he's using the dice bot, anything can happen. Stick to your games. Don't quit early because it looks bad. You'll never reach that experience where if you quit early, you don't know how to win then. Just because it looks bad, don't quit early. If you're pressed for time or whatever, ASL is probably not the game for you then, because each game takes anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, depending on the game that it is. If you don't want to play that long in a game, again, play it over multiple sessions or whatever, but don't short yourself on the game. So play it through to a point where it's almost mathematically impossible to win, and then throw in the towel. But it's like, oh, I lost my tiger. The hell, I can't win. Watch this game, watch how it progresses, and see how you can actually, either side can win in both situations, okay? Take that to the bank. That's one of the primary lessons that you'll have to learn in ASL is, can I stick it out? Can I win? Again, revisit the objectives. What are the objectives? You know, do I need all my infantry alive? You know, is it exit victory points? Tanks are worth a lot of victory points to exit. Do I need my infantry alive if my tanks can fulfill the conditions? If not, your infantry are expendable, and vice versa. Do I need my tanks? My infantry are the ones that are going to win the battle for me. Tanks are expendable. So, victory conditions. Focus on the victory conditions. You'll keep focused in the game. You don't need the 10-3 leader. You don't need the HMG. You don't need any of that crap. You need the victory hexes. Doesn't say, hey, all your HMGs have to be functional at the game end. Fire them until they break. Hopefully they won't. But fire them until they break if you need to. All right. So with that, let's proceed with the game. I hope you enjoy it. Double speed if it's too long for you guys. It was a pretty quick session, to be honest with you. We had some technical difficulties. So we started a little late, but go with it. I think you'll have a good time. A great episode. Great episode, great people. So enjoy it, and we'll catch you at the end.
This is Rich Matheson and me.
All
Quick little background first. We started playing this at the beginning of December,
right.
and we'd get like a half turn in or something, and then we'd pause. There were a couple moments where either we lost our connection, so we'd start up again. So it was a lot of fractured vlog files to connect and or to stitch together. And to boot, one day both of us forgot to make a vlog, so there's like a whole Russian turn, missing. So when I stitched it all together, I tried to make it make it look like it made sense. But you'll see some counters jump around, and there'll be some moments like, well, what just happened there? And it'll be hard to say. So at any rate, I'm playing the Russians. Rich is playing the Germans. So I'll just go ahead and start.
So what do you guys see immediately from the other game and this game? Well, you didn't see anything in the other game, I guess. But just to compare John's game, while Craig is starting here, the Germans essentially have gone Stockberg and put two. There's 2 stacks of German units here. In the other game, the German player, which I think was Craig, had nobody stacked. So again, just from the beginning of the game, it's a completely different look that you're going to have for the German player. So
you'll notice, this is from my experience in playing a couple other games with combined arms. I've got some infantry coming in first. They are basically scouting potential positions for the hipped gun, because I didn't want to get surprised from behind or the side, like I had in other scenarios. So he takes a shot there with his heavy machine gun, and he broke his machine gun on his first shot.
Oh my god!
So
oh no!
It was.
Now pause it here for just a second. Just one second.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he put residual on there, but there actually should be no residual.
Oh yeah. So
that was a mistake.
Remember our discussion on combined arms and what the Sherman tanks bring to the battle, right, gentlemen? So what do the Sherman tanks bring to the battle? Smoke. What do you see on the map? How many smoke targets do you have on the map, and how many smoke generators do you have?
Okay, right now you got 2 targets and you got 6 generators.
So you got 2 targets and 6 generators. These guys should definitely be easily nullified by a couple key smoke rounds or smoke pots or whatever. So it should be much more easier to neutralize these defensive positions versus the other setup where the Germans were spread out and he pretty much had like that whole village kind of covered. So go ahead, Craig. So that's immediately the first thing that should pop in your mind as the Russian player.
Did he fire that MG as including the actual squads?
I'm going to be struggling to remember, but
then I could see the.
Oh yeah, I think that's perhaps what he did. That would have been 2, 4, 6.
That hence why there's residual there.
Yeah, it'd still be 2 residual.
It should have been a 2 residual rather than 4. So
that's
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I still hadn't quite learned, and you'll soon discover that your armor shouldn't get too far ahead of your infantry,
Right.
because then his gun popped up here.
Right.
So I moved this guy up here, and this is going to be my major smoke generator. He's going to be popping smokes, because he doesn't have any hindrances involved. So he pops up here. He takes a shot, and I don't remember if that was a hit, but he had rate. Let's
Right.
see. Yeah, that was a hit, but no effect. Fires again, keeps rate. That was no effect. Fires
Good
again,
Lord.
keeps rate. Rolls snake eyes on the 2 kill.
Yep. Boom.
Ouch.
So he still has rate, and I'm done.
Now, pause it here
let's
for
see.
just one sec, Craig.
Yep.
On the left-hand side, what do you guys see? Left-hand side, the Germans and the American or the Russian tank. What do you guys see?
They're Churchills. No, they're Shermans.
Yeah, no, but what danger do you see as the Russian player against that stack of Germans?
Bunch of Panzerfaust.
Oh, Panzerfaust.
Panzerfaust.
Oh, yeah.
What else
Yeah.
specifically with the Sherman tank in its present condition?
Large target. It's a large target.
And its turret is
Turn to the side.
Oh, I'm CE.
He's CE with that much
Yep.
firepower. That's a lot of firepower. What's that? 16. That can easily stun that tank. But whether the German wants to do that with seeing all the Russian infantry on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, I'm not sure why the German didn't fire at least all of his infantry on you. But yeah, CE very dangerous, very risky.
Yeah.
But he hasn't fired yet.
So now I'm bringing the infantry on.
Actually, Stu, I don't. Maybe I've missed something here, but when the AT gun went on its rate tear, how did it get as many shots on that tank as it did?
So I
right.
had, yes, I
question.
believe, again, I'm trying to remember back in December, and I was thinking about that when I was stitching together the log files. I think I had only expended, I think that's where I had planned on stopping. I think I had stopped there when he took the shot, and this would have been all delay.
You said stop and delay, so he got as many shots as you had MPs left, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was either that, or it's very possible, especially back in December, still really learning armor, may have, he may have, we both got excited about rate. So
Yeah.
we weren't really thinking about how many movement points I had expended. But
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Right.
I think I had stopped there.
Yeah, this is actually a really good learning point, because one of the core failings or errors that many ASLers, even experienced ASLers, do is they don't work out their movement properly. So they end up stopping and having to delay out.
Right.
And that just, you're basically handing the initiative to the defender.
Yes.
You want to be maximizing that. Okay, if you're going to take a shot when I stop, the maximum you're going to have seen me for is 1.5 to 2 movement points.
Right. Now he would have seen me no matter how many points he would have had plenty of.
Well, maybe not, because there's that woods in W8. So remember, it's only in continuous line of sight. So
right. True.
So and the other thing is that, sometimes the windy path is better than the direct.
Right.
So Craig,
so in the case of
do these Shermans have smoke pots?
They have everything.
Yes. Yep.
They have smoke mortars and SDs. Then
no, just smoke. Not what do they have?
Smoke dischargers.
Okay,
I think smoke dischargers. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would be popping smoke on the way in.
Yeah. Have to smoke.
Because once you fire
on the tank in Z5, Craig, how would you, because you kind of plan for him to be there, like you say, that's going to be my smoke generator. How would you use your movement points in the future? Obviously, this is a pre this is a very one of your first games. Knowing what you know now, how would you approach that situation if you wanted to end up in Z5? And it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like it's 7 hexes, so 7
Yeah,
movement points on location.
I would have counted backwards, so I'd end there at 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So I'd enter there 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, stop on 14,
Right.
something like that.
Right. So if you guys know that you're only going to move a couple spots, yeah.
And then if he takes a shot there, if I, like when I was moving, wouldn't be necessarily a bad idea to, like he was saying, discharge a smoke, so I'm obscured a little bit, and it'll.
Yeah, but your approach, like you say, especially since you knew exactly what you were doing with the infantry, you were scouting out for the gun and things like that.
Right.
Then that's definitely it doesn't come to mind obviously all the time, especially for most ASLers, to be honest with you. And this is even for experienced ASLers. A lot of times they just kind of casually move. It's sort of like routing. It's like people casually route, the same sort of thing with their vehicles. They just kind of casually move them. They know kind of where they want to go, but just like Craig said, count backwards. If that's the only spot I want to go and I might get fired upon, give him the least amount of movement points that he could shoot, especially with a rate of fire weapon like that. Now, if he just had an artillery piece with no rate of fire, it wouldn't have mattered if Craig went just straight there and delayed like 55 points right there. It didn't matter because the vehicle or the armament is only going to have one more shot after its initial shot. But again, knowing your enemy's OB, 3 rate of fire, that's something that you might want to think about. It's not new player thoughts. This is something as you develop as a player that, oh yeah, this guy's got a high rate of fire. I don't want to give him as many shots. So it's a very simple mechanic, but easily, as your first time playing for the first, heck, I would say even probably for the first year or two, to be honest with you, is that something that's easily overlooked, but can be compensated. But no big deal. He got a good shot and shitloads of rate of fire, so we can't fight that.
So I brought this Sherman up here. He turned his gun. Now Rich and I we play each other all the time, and we kind of coach each other. So he had changed his covered arc, and we were talking about it a little bit. And I said, "Well, Rich, I don't think you really want to do that, because of all the, if you change your covered arc towards these guys, then you'll have 2 shots, 2 targets within your covered arc." So I let him take that back, and we continued on.
Okay.
Here's us talking about it. All the penalties associated with changing your covered arc in the woods. So,
right.
So this is us talking. Okay, so I'm bringing the last of my infantry on here, I think. So, now we're defensive fire. So he does that, takes a shot, gets a miss, but he puts an acquisition. Or he will here shortly, while we're talking about. Okay, so this is advancing fire. I'm taking some shots, trying to get something on there. And honestly, I don't remember if I'm trying to put smoke on these shots or if I'm just...
Probably not, because you've done some IFT shots. And all smoke has to be done first.
Right. Yeah. Which I probably would not have remembered at that time in December.
Right.
So I think I was just trying to get some acquisitions.
Generally, you get reminded of that real frequently.
Yeah. With an opponent who knows, they will definitely remind you. Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the rules that gets applied super strictly.
Yes. But I'm pretty sure I was just going for the acquisition because I'm entering right away with a +5.
Oh God, yeah.
In the advanced fire phase, and because I button I was showing CE, and Stu mentioned that with the stack shooting here, and again, Rich and I, we play gentlemen's rules, so
Right. Yeah, it
the
looks like you
intent
discussed
would
it.
have been to get into position, and button up before I got in within range of anybody.
Yeah.
Just on that regard, because he hadn't fired on you when you got that close, I would have, because you were CE, I would have been firing the smokes. I would have either been doing a bounding fire shot or done it, gone for a smoke discharger first. If I got it, then button up.
Right.
But if I didn't get it, bounding fire, and then you're going to wear it no matter what. But yeah, at 3 hexes range, yeah, these things don't have the smoke mortars. I don't think they just have this. They just have smoke 8.
Right.
So yeah, that opening move is I didn't really with morale 8 Shermans with smoke 8. I sit back. I don't. The only time I take Shermans within 3 hexes is if they've actually got smoke mortars.
Right.
Yeah. And again, this is me starting this game in December. I'd honestly forgotten about Panzerfaust. So
Yeah.
I would not move today. I would
44?
not. June 44.
Okay, so they only got that's only 1 hex range.
Is it in June 44?
Yeah, I think it's only 1 hex.
Oh, okay.
Except
maybe not in starter kit though. I don't know about starter kit.
that's not a starter kit game, is it?
Pretty sure it's 2 and 44. In 43, I know it's 1.
Yeah, it changes during 44 because 45 it's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Maybe
June of
maybe
44
Mark
is
can look
2,
that up.
according to the SK chart.
Okay, so yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Now, does anyone on this particular part right here? I really like the massive units on the right hand side, especially based upon the defender setup. Simply because this guy's going to get overwhelmed pretty quick with Russians. He's concentrated his Russian force there. He does have some tanks honed in on this guy's. What's the one special thing that you saw? And I saw on here, and I said, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's not going to happen. Look at the acquisitions in N10. And tell me who's firing on that location. N10, the guy on the left-hand side. So we have acquisition.
Well, you've got his smoke generator up there on the hill. That's one of them.
That's the kicker. That's the kicker, John. I didn't even notice the hill when we were discussing it before. This is a perfect spot for your smoke generators. If guys would just want to park 2 tanks up there, why is that the perfect spot?
You can see over the grain, and you can see over the woods.
Yeah.
At least into the woods.
Yeah, you can see over the
They
grain.
can pretty much put it anywhere they want to.
That's right. You can see over the grain, and he can slip in shots anywhere he wants. I actually hadn't seen those locations there before on the setup. That's 4 hexes, guys. 2 hexes makes the biggest difference in this particular scenario because now none of that hindrance applies to any of his shots. What's the range of his machine guns?
8 and 12.
8 and 12. So the 8 is probably going long range, good for interdicting, though. The 12 is still 4 firepower, respectable. So at this position, again, he could pepper 4+2, 4+1, 4+2, 4+1, or whatever. His machine gun is still fully functional. He's not half firepower by any stretch of the imagination. And again, his smoke capabilities really good from that location. Simply because he pretty much sees everything, and he sees everything on the hills back here in case the Germans should happen to come up. Yeah, so good spot. I actually didn't even pick that up in our discussion before. That's just using the terrain to your advantage, and this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, I should have put a second one up there, and you'll see why shortly.
Yeah.
So we're in the rally phase. You'll see Rich tried to repair his heavy machine gun and rolled a 6.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So he got nothing out of that thing.
Oh, my God. Anguish. You got plenty of
Yes.
anguish. Shit.
So we go to right to prep fire. He takes a shot here. Look at that. 2 hit, critical hit.
Yeah.
And takes out that one. Tries another shot. Got a hit without rate and didn't do anything. So he takes out 2 of my Shermans with his one gun.
That's impressive.
Right there. Had it, and I had a pretty good opportunity to take out 2 with it, getting that critical hit. But so where are we here? He's still.
Damn, his to kill number is a 13 on that thing, and he's still tearing you up.
Yeah.
Good lord.
So he's in the movement. He's skulking. And right now he's bringing on his vehicles.
So why, with that critical hit, why didn't that tank go into flame?
We don't have flame.
There's no flame. Again, Pete, if you have to ask a question, it doesn't exist in SK.
It's just SK. God, it looks like real ASL.
Right. Again, it's pretty potent. But yeah, the flame in that wheat field might be disastrous.
So he brought his Tiger and his Panzer IV in there, and he wanted to get them close. So and these enter with all their half their movement points used up.
Oh, okay.
So if he didn't stay in motion, he would have had to stop there. So he chose to get that much closer. So he would, obviously everybody knows the downside is lots of positive modifiers on his 2 hit.
Yeah.
But he wanted to get up there.
Okay.
And I guess he felt the same way with his Panzer IV.
Okay.
So I'll be trying to guess what he was thinking sometimes. And he and I talk about a lot. So
cool.
So here I'm taking some shots where I was, and I probably should have smoked him here rather than. I kind of forgot, for some reason I forgot to smoke him.
It's okay. Yeah, all right.
Actually, I think I started here with the machine guns, and then I think I got a result though. He gets pinned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now here, and I think this is, I guess not. Who am I shooting at? Oh, I was tried my machine guns against his CE.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what I did.
Wow.
And no effect. Or he passed his morale check. So there's my 2 hit. Yeah. So I mouth my gun. And as was mentioned, which, this was a mistake that I made, I was trying to smoke his tank when I did that 2 hit, which should have been the first thing that I did. So technically I cheated there.
Right.
So this is why I was saying I should have had 2 vehicles up there, because my one up there on that hill that was going to be my smoke generator now has no smoke.
Right.
And no main armament for that matter. So here I'm trying some other shots. Those guys. See, what am I doing? Mostly just with the machine guns. There I did smoke him from, I guess, from here.
Okay, cool.
So these were defensive smokes. He just laid a smoke there to try to obscure. I was worried about him getting a lucky shot. Yep. So I put a smoke there. And unfortunately, it only lasts, goes away at the beginning of my prep fire.
Right.
Let's see here. Where are we? Oh, this would have been who just broke. Oh yeah, he lost his crew there.
Oh, I see.
I wasn't watching.
He must have double broke or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, very cool.
Oh, he rolled a 12 on his morale check. That's what
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
that'll do it. Yeah,
So he casualty reduced. So
that's-
his crew's gone.
That's beautiful. That's one thing to get rid
So
of a gun.
boxcars when he first fired his heavy machine gun, and boxcars when his crew tried to pass a morale check.
Nice.
Let's see, what am I doing here? That was he tried this is defensive fire phase, even though it says advanced phase. So he did a shot but missed because of all the positive modifiers. Okay, let's move here. So on to
Now, gentlemen, the smoke in Q10 that Craig had put there, you might say that might not be the best use of smoke, firing dispersed smoke in there because the tank's in motion. It's good to get in that practice because think of the situation where Craig is. He's a newer player. He's just doing his thing. And for him to be able to recall, to be able to fire smoke defensively in that situation is a very good skill to have. Again, just continue to do things like that where it may not be the optimal. Say you might might worry about running out of smoke, but look, he's well, not anymore. He's got a couple tanks destroyed, but he does have other smoke generators in the game, and again, like he said, a lot of times it avoids that lucky shot. And if his smoke generator is pretty not hip, his smoke is 8. It's pretty easy to roll a 7 or less. Sure, you could roll an 8. It'll be your last shot. But again, just get used to thinking with situations like that. Even if he thought of that situation and didn't take the shot, as long as you're thinking about it, knowing that option is available to you, it can really, really make a difference, especially if he's swarming, one of your guys or something like that. I mean, let's say both these tanks ended up swarming this tank here. This guy could smoke him, or he could smoke discharger himself, if one of the other failed, and you're still thinking smoking defensively and smoking offensively. So there's two sides to the smoke coin, is offensive and defensive smoke. So very, very good shot there. I honestly, I don't think I've seen that, and especially if this is in December for newer players. I just haven't seen that at all, to be honest with you, in newer Starkit players. I'm sure it's happened, but good things to think about. As long as you're thinking about that process, you should be doing fine.
And now that I think about it, I believe we made a mistake by removing those smokes at the beginning of his prep fire phase. They should have stayed there to the beginning of my prep fire phase, right?
Yeah, this might be your prep fire phase. I see that's an allied prep fire phase.
Yeah, right now we're in the Axis. It's oh, wait a minute. No, now we're in allied turn.
Yeah.
Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, absolutely.
But
you are correct. You are correct. Yeah, you are correct. All right, very cool.
All right. So let's see here. What's going on? I'm going to try to... Oh, this was... I was trying to decide what to do because I was very concerned about this guy. He stopped, and I was worried he was going to get shot. So we actually played this turn once, and we had he didn't take a shot on him, and I'd done something completely different. And then we went back because we were miscalculating all his penalties for shooting it, and we thought it was impossible for him to get a hit. And then we realized that, well, no, the odds were low, but it wasn't impossible.
Right.
So we went back to replay this Russian turn.
Okay.
I'm bringing this guy down to try to dispense smoke.
Yep.
And he didn't.
Again, so very smart thing to do. Even though his weapons malfunctioned, he's a smoke discharger, and he is a 6 firepower machine gun tank that can park 3 or so hexes away and pound an enemy position with machine gun fire. Yeah.
So my intent here was to, expecting that, maybe I wouldn't get the smoke dispenser, that first I would have this guy try it, and then if it failed, then he would try his smoke dispenser before he would start. So I'd have 2 opportunities to put smoke.
Right.
And let's see. And in addition, I chose to move him last, hoping that perhaps he would decide to shoot at somebody else.
Right, right.
So I positioned this guy up here.
Yeah, might prove a bigger threat. Absolutely. Very nice.
So now these two guys have him in mind.
Right.
Let's see.
And again,
that was my second smoke dispenser attempt.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Which failed. He moved there. He takes a shot, and he got a hit, and I was done there. So now I'm down to 2.5 Shermans.
Yeah, the 88's hitting are going to be,
Yeah. So moving up, I've got pretty good cover from this side. His line of sight is, well, particularly since he's in that building. So I can move pretty much at will.
Yeah, really nice.
So I'm coming in as just trying to stay out of his line of sight. And this guy, he's going to come in handy later in the game.
Looks like he's going to get annihilated to me.
Yeah, he was meant to draw fire and be a distraction. He was a trooper and survived a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, are we in the advance? Yeah, we're in the advanced fire phase. So I'm trying to take a shot here, and let's see. So what's going to come up here? So there's my hit. I get a hit.
Wow.
I miraculously get a hit.
Wow.
But
no, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Boxcars.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
So I needed an 11 to kill.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
So he gets away. He tries to hit. That was a miss.
Oh my goodness.
So here's a bunch of other things here. Did he get pinned? No, he didn't get pinned. So now I'm advancing on him.
Look at that mass. That's sick.
All right, his rally phase. I chose, since I was down to 2.5 Shermans, I tried to fix my main armament without any luck. I know that was a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
But I figured I needed another gun. So he moves on, gets out of my line of sight. And he comes in here. I was hoping to get a shot on there, but get out of my line of sight. And
open nothing on that one. Huh. Oh, maybe intensifier.
He was struggling with his turning the turret around.
Yeah.
So now he's bringing
the heavy metal.
Yep. Let's see here. So I was able to. I had some effect here with my defensive fire, a little bit. So his defensive fire actually survived that. He fired on me.
Wow.
But what happens here? This is interesting. His Tiger shoots at me, and I believe he missed. But then his Panzer IV. Oh, he tried a Panzerfaust. Didn't have one, but then his Panzer IV took a shot, got a hit and a kill. So of all things, you'd think the Tiger would have taken him out, but it was actually the Panzer.
Right. Now, did he fire special ammunition on that one?
I don't remember.
Because he must have fired special ammunition on that one.
He may have.
Because the heat, the high explosive won't kill you at all, but the heat has a small chance of killing you. So high explosive, remember high explosive on these guys here, good for collateral damage or the collateral attacks, but the high explosive against armor is 7 base to kill. The heat one, because he has heat 9, which is very high, His heat 9 has a 13 to kill, so almost double the kill potential. He probably fired a heat shot. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, must have been. Yeah. Let's see. So here he's trying some advanced fire, and I'm doing pretty well against his squads over there. The leader's pinned.
Yeah, nice.
So now he's shifting. Oh, here we are in the rally phase. I tried to, I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
My gun had malfunctioned because I intensive fired when his Panzer IV was over there, and I rolled a 10. So my gun was malfunctioned, and I just rolled a 6 to repair it.
Ugh.
So now I'm down to, well, half a
tank. Half a tank. Oh my gosh. There we go. Jeez. Dueling mouth tanks.
Yep.
Oh,
so the first guy came in. I think I had tried to put smoke in with the first mouth tank. Now this guy comes up. Rich tries to fire Panzerfaust. He had one, but rolled a 12 on the 2 hit.
All right.
I got a smoke, so that at least my departing armor provided some defense. And these guys were troopers. They just survived everything that he brought at me.
Wow.
So this worked out really well. I moved adjacent to him. He fired everything at me, left him, but now I've got freedom of movement around him. I can.
Right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, first fire. Now you can move everybody everywhere. There's that useful HMG.
Yeah.
Now, what also is allowing him to move all these troops in this fashion, gentlemen? What happened at the beginning of this turn that allowed, or at the end of last turn, which allowed the Russian to move all of his infantry into the city? Russian tank B. Both tanks pursued Russian tank B to kill it. Now they're not in the city to fire machine guns on the Russians. So now the Russians are doing what they do and taking some morale checks and trying to get their objectives. So that's a good opportunity. The Craig looked like he sees the opportunity from him first firing, and now the floodgates are open. Now we need to move forward and get what we can get, because I'm sure Craig says we need to get it before these suckers come back around, because that's going to be open ground shots and you're just going to get shredded. And considering the Germans are coming on soon, he needs to establish a good, foothold somewhere in that little village.
Yep. So, and I was getting pretty good results on the advancing fire. Let's see, and here we are in the advanced phase. So, all right, now we're into the German turn. He's going to place his, he's getting himself set up for his reinforcements. Now, I actually think that this was a mistake on his part.
Okay.
I've got this part of the village, and I'm going to have that here pretty soon.
Right, that's free. Yep.
But there's that building right there.
Wow.
And all this open ground that I get across. If it were me, I think rather than have all these units come up here, and I know why he went there, because he's got all the cover from this hill. He can enter at will.
Yeah.
But then he's got to get over that hill and at me. I think I would have entered, maybe over here or even over here, in order to basically keep the Russians from being able to seize that building.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Now pause it right here for a second, Craig.
Yep.
What do you see might be an issue, not necessarily immediately, but in the very near future, with the orientation of your units, specifically your leaders? What issue do you think you might have?
Well, I run into the issue here shortly. I have
They're leading.
I don't have any leaders over here.
Yeah, you have no leaders on that side. So if
Yeah,
they counterattack on there and they break, it's going to be
Yeah.
difficult for you to rally those units, even in
Yes,
desperate situations.
and I knew that at the time, and it's sort of where things ended up.
Yeah,
So,
it's okay.
You need to leave some leaders to lead from behind so that they
Yeah,
set up rally points.
Yeah,
right. And in particular, I've got a leader here and a leader here. But that's just kind of
But you
where they
were
ended up.
moving, and then you guys you pushed up and you got your positions. And again, I mean they're fairly safe for the time being, but obviously, obviously you might want to get somebody over there. Most likely, obviously, the 7-0, just to give them a little bit of support,
Right.
just for whatever.
And I think I ended up that way because, like you said, I wanted to get into these buildings as quickly as possible.
Right.
So I think I was trying to, get that extra movement factor for those units.
Yeah, all those guys are CX. You just want to get in there and intimidate your opponent, because now,
right.
I mean, you've got 2 squads in the building. That's not really much, but it looks like there's a lot of counters in that building. So,
right.
So,
one thing with the Russians, experience has always taught me to have when you're having a leader that's designed for rallying, it's not the 7-0. It's either the 8-1 or the 9-1. You always have a negative modifier leader for rallying Russians. It's so important to get them up so quickly, because you don't have the benefit of half squads.
And you don't usually have the support weapons either, like the Germans have, to generate giant fire bases.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So generally, and because they're usually 6 or 4 firepower units, they don't need leader direct negative mods for the most part. A 4+1 is fine.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Very cool.
So he got a shot there, and he kept rate.
Wow.
Twice. So he pins him, and then I think that was the end of his shots there. Now he's in the movement phase. So now he's setting himself up.
The sound of dread coming.
So at this point, let's see, we'll bring up here. I'm kind of thinking, I'm in a pretty strong position, but I'm thinking there's no way. I've got nothing to be able to take out his armor.
Wow.
Wow. So, so I'm kind of thinking there's no way that I'm getting that building. I was pretty much ready to concede at this point.
Yeah, it looks pretty grim. Looks like he followed your plan and mouthing his main armament.
He mouthed his main armament on his Panzer IV, but he's still got the machine gun, so I got to cross that open ground.
Yeah.
So he's coming, advances up on that hill. Now we're into my rally phase. And this is the turn that's missing, so things are going to jump.
Okay.
So I took possession of the German AT gun and I moved it there.
Nice.
And I'm not exactly sure how everybody got to where they were going, but that's basically, this is where everybody ended up.
Okay.
At the end of the Russian turn.
Okay. You probably just missed a couple of machine gun shots. No big deal.
Yep. I didn't fire. I don't think anybody prep fired. I wanted to get in a position where I could start an assault.
Okay.
And I put the Sherman up here, set up so that he's with a covered arc. So now he can get all these guys. So he's either got to go back down the hill and around, or face the machine gun.
Yeah.
Plus these guys are down here to cover, in case he gets by.
Yeah.
To cover that. So
and they're safe. They're safe for him. It's like a double.
I've got my
dual
flank
defense.
covered, but I don't really. But he's got this guy sitting here. He's got his heavy machine gun. I don't see how I'm at this point. I don't see how I'm going to be able to get that building at this point. So, but we continue the game because we're having fun. He preps, and then he decided to move his Tiger a little closer to the Victory building, and I defensive fire.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was going to. I guess he was going to. He was going to just assault move, try to get a little bit closer.
Oh my God, it's a hit.
Oh yes, that's what I missed. So my captured
Yeah.
German AT gun
Yeah.
got a hit and
Takes
took
out
out his
his-
Panzer.
Oh my God.
That's
Talk about
amazing.
insult to injury.
That's
And you'll
amazing.
notice the 2 hit was a critical hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
And think of it,
So
gentlemen.
that's
Yeah.
the same AT gun that took out 2 of my Shermans. I took out one of his Panzers.
This is what we call lend lease.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that
So-
AT gun, it's captured, right? +2 to hit, and he's non-qualified as well. Another +2 to hit. So
Right.
he needs like a base 6 to hit this guy, and the red for captured. But it's within. Well, I don't know if that matters in SK, but yeah, it's so for him to be able to even just to hit the thing, it's almost a miracle. And then he snakes him. Oh my God.
Only in ASL, man.
That's
Only
right.
exactly. That's
And this is
I love
why
this
you keep
game.
playing. This is why you keep playing, because
Right.
that can happen.
Every
So-
scenario is this amazing little movie.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm continuing. I'm taking some shots here. I was able to break one of the squads there. Let's see. We'll continue on. I'm taking some shots and now we're in advancing fire. So he's trying to get something. Let's see. So route and his advance. He's adjusting. He moved his heavy machine gun there so he's got better coverage, which I think was a pretty decent move. So now it will see this lone guy who survived.
Ugh.
He's gonna help in a big way. So let's see here. I'm trying to take out some of his guys that are in my line of sight. Prep so I can gotta cover my flank. I tried to move the AT gun here and was unsuccessful and ended up CX. I'm adjusting.
Yeah, DM. Huge.
So I skulked a little bit here. Again, I'm setting myself up for the last charge.
Right. Okay. What turn is it right now, Craig?
No, I'm not
Turn
seeing
5.
turn
Looks like
counter.
turn 5 out of
Turn
7.
5.
So yeah.
So I got a little time yet.
Okay.
His defensive fire, he pinned me there with the. See what's going on. He's getting some results.
Yep. Definitely.
So I'm running out of people. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Oh, we're talking about where he's going to shoot.
Oof. Yes.
So I'm running out of troops. People are breaking.
Now pause it just for a second, Craig.
Yep.
Now the Germans on the hill. Tell me the problem that the Germans are facing on the hill, especially when he breaks. Where's this guy going to go to, gentlemen? Where's he going to route to?
Well, and actually this becomes a discussion. I think he's got to go back here.
Right. But what
Not
does
a lot of choices.
how long will it take him to get back there? 1 turn, 2 turns?
1, 2, 3 turns.
Yeah. Why is it going to take him 3 turns, Craig?
Well, because unless he takes interdiction.
Right. He's got the tank over here, free interdiction. Anybody that breaks on that line that he had, it's an impressive line, right? 838s are very impressive units. They break, they have to route, and because that tank is there, they will take interdiction if they don't low crawl. So when they break, they're going to be stuck in the open, and then be able to route down the hill. That's 2 turns, low crawl, and then route. How long do we have left in the game?
Just with regard to that broken FT guy, he's adjacent to known enemy unbroken good order units, and his only option is to low crawl. I think he surrenders, doesn't he?
Is that a
we
question,
don't have
Pete?
surrender.
Is that a
we don't have
question, Pete?
surrender.
Yeah.
If you're asking a question, yeah.
This is starter kit.
Yeah.
Right.
No prisoners in starter kit.
That's just the joke that I wrote.
Never too early to introduce the full term, though. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, so that's a major danger zone, especially in the ASL. But so this is turn 5 of 7. The only thing he can really, I mean, you've got his leader's broken here, his other leader's over here. This guy is going to take a long time to rally. So breaking him essentially is taking this guy out of the battle. So you don't have to necessarily kill guys. This is the prime example that this is an 8-3-8 with a flamethrower that you can't get rid of. And to be honest with you, he probably doesn't want to kill this guy. Why? Why doesn't he want to kill that particular unit?
Well, I guess because that unit's got to hold on to his flamethrower. If he was killed, the flamethrower would be lying there. He could pick it up.
That's right. So you just want to DM him. You only want to fire the 2 firepower machine gun on him later instead of the 4. Well, actually, he's going to be DM'd in normal range anyway. You don't even have to fire at this guy if he low crawls. If he low crawls here, he'll be DM'd automatically in the route phase. If he low crawls here, he'll be DM'd automatically. As long as this guy's here, automatic DM without firing on him. You don't want to kill him because then somebody like this leader here can pick it up and run at you and torch your ass. So,
yeah, you only want to shoot at that DM guy again to kill him in J3. Because then someone has to go up the hill, pick up the FT, and then you shoot him again.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're moving. So even though he looks like he's DM'd 8-3, he's got 8 morale. That guy's going to have a very difficult time to rally. He might rally, but he's pretty much out of it. And so breaking units in this position, especially when he's got this tank here, and this is a very good use for your tank where it can't fight the other tanks, so it becomes an infantry defense unit or offensive unit in this case. It's kind of doing the both thing. And it's perfectly fine here. It takes these guys a lot of movement factors to move over to him. So very good position. These guys can't see him. They pretty much almost can't even get to him. I mean, it would be very difficult to get to him. So this guy is going to be untouched for a while unless this Panzerschreck kind of gets a little closer. And guess what? That's open ground. And he can't come down here because you've got supporting him. Like Craig said, supporting infantry covering this guy's his right flank or left side. And obviously he doesn't want to run too many times in open ground. And if he wants to get within 3 hexes range, where does he got to go? He's got to go adjacent to the infantry unit, which are defending the tank, supporting the tank. Right? If these guys weren't supporting the tank, this 8-3-8 could probably move here, well, almost, not going to say with impunity, but he's got 8 morale. He could assault move advance phase, right? And this tank could take a couple 6 firepower shots. Yeah, 8 morale unit, 6 firepower, rolls a 7, normal morale check, he passes it, just with normal rolls. But with these guys here, that's an 8. And then this guy's going to be, that'd be 12 firepower plus 1. Now he's got to face a real morale check. So, supporting infantry, this is a good example of supporting infantry, even though some of them are broken. These Germans do not have freedom of movement in terms of where he wants to go. Simply because the way Craig has set up his units here. You know, this Sherman is only vulnerable to that tank, and that's it. Nothing else is getting in range. I just don't see it. And at this point in the game, the Germans may not even want to go there. Go ahead, sorry.
All right, so in the route phase here, and I'm not sure, but I think, yeah, here we're talking about where he can go. So he low crawled. My advance phase, I'm getting back into position. And I had this this 447. He's getting closer. I'm using the cover of the building and the wreck to get myself just a little bit closer. And my thought process is the next turn I'm not going to even assault move in there. I'm going to wait until the advance phase. I'll advance in there, gain control of it, and then withdraw. And then he has to, because I figure I'm going to take a shot in the teeth.
Exactly. No need to move in that building if you can get there in the advance phase. It does. Right. It's waiting for you, so don't rush.
And then I'll withdraw because it'll be under my control, and then he has to cross some ground,
right,
to gain control.
Right. And guess
what?
So
that was my plan there. Let's see. Let's continue on. Okay, so now we're on to his rally phase. I'm able to bring some people back, I think, which was helpful. And there's that one. I rolled a 1 for my Sherman,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I got my main armament back. It was a big risk. If I rolled a 6, that would have been game over.
Yeah.
But I got my main armament back, so that was huge.
Tell me what you think about L7, gentlemen. What do you see in L7? Where's the German? Where should the German be firing his Panzerschreck in this turn?
Yeah,
3 leaders, 3 Russian leaders in 1 hex.
Right.
I mean, obviously he was kind of
that
stuck
never
that way.
happens.
Yeah, but this is a sweet target in any nationality. In any nationality,
yeah.
So
Right, but Russian
was,
especially.
yeah,
It
exactly.
was very unintentional. It had a lot to do with, I think somebody was pinned in there. I wanted to route there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
You just got stuck. You just got stuck. But again, making sure you spot something like this. Again, you might have pressing targets. But this is juice.
Too juicy to leave.
At least it's only a 5 to hit.
Yeah, it's pretty juicy.
Yeah.
This is but when this guy comes up with the main armament, he probably thought of better targets to shoot at. So that really changes the game in terms of a German perspective. And he's got his guy back over here too. So, but yeah, definitely. I mean, even if you have 2 leaders in the hex, that's mobility.
Yeah, that's a good eye. That's sort of the kind of thing you should look for. You're right.
Yeah,
definitely. And I don't think he saw that, and I certainly didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you were just kind of
It's
pressing
early
around.
time to have a staff meeting.
Yeah. Let's see.
And don't forget this booger. Don't forget Russian Squad E.
Yep.
That's
yeah.
I'm waiting for this one.
Yeah, that Squad B is that poison pill backfield.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, the guy had
So
a rough for it. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was this is now the Russian turn, and this was a piece that was missing. Somehow I got a shot on the heavy machine gun, and I broke the leader and the 2 squads in there.
Okay.
And I don't know how that was done. I can't remember who fired.
That's all right.
So I broke him. Prep fired on there. I was trying to take out that Panzerschreck, thinking that was a pretty big threat.
Wow.
Let's see here. I'm getting some. We're in the movement. Yeah, we're in the movement phase now. So I'm adjusting now. I'm here. I'm trying to set up to basically spread out my units now, expecting him to assault across here to try to get that building.
Right.
So I'm making some adjustments. Let's see, AT gun. I moved down here. So I guess I actually assault moved into the building. I thought I was going to do it in.
I actually agree with the assault move because you immediately gain control.
Right.
And so he still has to physically reoccupy it to take control, even if it's empty.
Right. So with his with the heavy machine gun out, that opened up a huge opportunity. So I was actually thinking here that he took a shot there and broke casualty reduction there, and
that's only snake eyes.
So when I was bringing in,
oh no.
When I was bringing in these guys, I'm initially thinking these 2 guys are going to go into close combat. That's what I was thinking. But then I realized he had the close-in weapon system, and I changed my mind.
Okay.
I figured, well, I'm just going to leave him. I've got everything that I need.
Right.
He's got to take a building. So
wow.
I get pinned there. I survived that. And the other nice part was I was able to move outside of his covered arc. So he had to make a choice. I can't speak for what Rich was thinking, what he was thinking his
right.
biggest threat was.
He's thinking there's a lot of Russians in front of him.
But the best part is, here's that lone guy that had
Yeah.
come down from here, and now we've got Russians there and Russians there, so his stack is dead.
Yeah, one flanking unit, gentlemen. One random guy walking along, minding his own business, can generate just an
And
annihilation up there.
fortunately, he survived all the shots against him from there.
Okay.
So it played well.
Yeah.
So now, before I thought I had lost the game. Now I'm thinking, well, I've got an upper hand. I don't think it's not won, but I'm in good position.
And that's pretty sick to see a whole stack of German units just gone. Just, 3 guys just gone.
So I go into
Taking
close
out
combat
that heavy
there.
stack was
Yeah,
a huge deal. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy strong.
So, and I did get I got a leader over there.
Yeah,
finally.
8-1 right over.
Let's see here. Where are we now? What did he roll the 1 for?
Rally.
Oh, he
Oh,
rolled.
self-rally.
He did a self rally. He rolled snake eyes, so he created a leader.
Oh, right.
Let's see. So now he's behind me here, but I don't really care that much.
Right.
He's got his tiger alone. I've got him in melee. So these guys, they've got to somehow take a building.
That's not a problem I want to have.
Yeah.
All right. I tried to do.
You've actually physically blocked the movement route to the buildings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I spread everybody out.
That's like end game stuff.
Yeah, this is really good. This is really good thinking. I mean, a lot of players will just stay in the building, just wall of guys. Even if he comes up on the top, you got point blank shots. You've got other good shots, and you could, like, say, low crawl back or just go back to the building instead of leaving the building. So yeah, really strong position.
He's moving his tiger, and I took a shot with the gun. I rolled a 10, so I broke the gun, but I can't complain.
Crappy German.
Served its purpose.
So he brings the tiger up. He's going to try to use the tiger to clear out all those units. And he's getting some smoke here. He's trying to move up. Let's see, which turn are we on here? So we're still Axis turn 5. This game's not over yet.
Wow.
And I'm going to zoom up here. So I don't get much help from my defensive fire. He survives it. And I don't think he gets much luck with his advance. Well, he breaks a little bit with the advancing fire.
Oh, right.
So we're into the route.
Out.
Advance phase. Let's see. Where are we here? Not sure why those guys moved around there. Oh, that was a close combat here.
Right.
We're trying to settle that, and he casualty reduced me, and I had nothing.
That's all good.
So
you
now,
just want to time up.
But I got him tied up. Let's see here. Okay, so now my rally phase. Tried to rally that guy. He's back. And I think I bring some other guys back. He rolls a 12 on his rally there. Oof. Casualty reduction. Let's see. 2 hit. What was I trying to hit? Not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, he was not sure what he was. Oh, no, I don't know what he was shooting at. Let's see. This is movement phase, so I think now I'm moving up. I decide that I'm going to go into close combat after all against the tiger, because we realize that his close-in weapon system is not. He's only got the mine dispenser, not the
Right.
sniffer wolf.
It's only 12 instead of
12 rather than
12
16.
instead of 16. Yeah. But yeah, we had a discussion on that with the we don't even know simply because the vehicle notes doesn't specify it. I don't even think he has the mine dispenser. I think you were discussing that earlier, Craig, or someone was saying about that.
He does have the mine dispenser in the vehicle notes, or actually, I guess in the verbiage of the rules, and it's in the close combat section of the rules in Starter Kit as well, which is so.
So it says if you don't
it's
have
got
the
the mine
SA and you have the
dispenser.
mine, you have the M7.
Yeah, I said instead of that, I could find the verbiage, but yeah.
Yeah, because
and there was something. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out is as I was moving the squads here, one by one, they tried picking. Well, first of all, there was one squad there that started in the hex, didn't pick up the heavy machine gun on the rally phase. The next squad moved there, expended a movement factor, rolled a 6, didn't pick up the heavy machine gun. And then finally, the third squad got in there and was able to pick up the heavy machine gun.
Oh my goodness.
So his defensive fire. Now we're sort of thinking game over, but he does still have that tank there.
Right. And you have a whole bunch of broken units in that building.
Yep. And let's see. That's the route phase. I want to try to settle that, so I move more in there in the close combat. I go into close combat against the Tiger with. I didn't have a result, and he rolled a 3 on the 12 chart. So he pinned one and broke the other. So, but he's in melee. So plus thing, and this was something we actually made a mistake with that we had forgotten. So the infantry is in melee there. The tank is not. The Tiger is not stuck in melee.
Correct.
But his limitation is he can't fire outside of that hex.
Correct.
So he's got to move out in order to fire at anything other than the units in the hex.
Yeah, it's why going in there is such a good move. Even as long as something survives,
right?
You stop him firing out.
Right. The same exact thing over here. You just stop him from stopping your movement. He is essentially not frozen, but he doesn't get to take an immediate shot.
He's
very limited.
Yeah, especially this late in the game.
All right, so Allied. Are we on Allied turn 6 here, or
what the hell happened to the Russians? They're all gone. Jeez, that's rough.
Yeah, look, Infantry finally got a hit.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of Russians that are broken.
So yeah, so now it's not decided yet.
Yeah.
We're still stuck in melee here. I was hoping to have the heavy machine gun there to cover that flank. So now he's moving around the flank. He's decided he's going to go for the weak side. He's moving around and surviving. He's bringing that guy around the other side.
Wow.
Let's see here. So here, I think he took a shot outside the hex and missed. And that's where we made that mistake. Let's see. Where are we here? Advancing fire. So he's trying to take some shots in there, clear things up. Advancing. So I can clearly see where my threat is. I'll check. I rolled a 12 there on something.
Guys are blowing up in that close.
Lots of 12s rolled. Okay, rally.
Wow, this is getting down to like
my half squad comes back up there. That's going to help.
Nice.
So I prep fire. I move down. Basically reinforce this building.
Yep.
So here What did he just do there?
There must be some phantom unit that maybe
Yeah.
may have shot at that guy or a different unit.
Yeah, that's it. So he fired it there. So I'm bringing my Sherman around.
Oh my gosh!
Right up there. So outside of.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So he fires his Panzerschreck.
Oh no!
And we thought he had. I think we thought he had a hit, but he didn't.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm coming up here. Basically, I'm trying to counter his move here. Trying to bring as much up to try to thwart his assault, his final assault on that lone building. So here's his defensive fire.
Yeah, it's the last turn of the game. So last Allied turn, last German turn.
Let's see. Okay, advancing fire. You're gonna love this. All right. My Sherman's gonna take a shot. No. Oh, that's the machine guns.
Oh,
there's
Jesus.
my shot against the Tiger.
No way.
There it is.
Critical hit on the Tiger. So.
Oh God.
So my Sherman takes out the Tiger.
Oh my God.
Again, the stories we can tell with this game.
Right? That's awesome.
So advance phase.
Wow.
So, and I will say, I just made I just made a mistake here. I brought this guy here, put him there, and I'm not sure why I stacked them up like that. And you'll see pretty soon here why that was a mistake.
Okay.
So let's see here. We are in the.
That Panzerschreck must be in good order, but he shows broken. Maybe not. I don't know.
Right?
Okay, this is so this is his movement phase. This is the last turn.
Oh no.
So he's moving this guy up. So now he made it to that building.
Oh, he's got 6 firepower
and,
in his units.
And I was contemplating final defensive fire, but like no, that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
So.
Now, why would it be a mistake? Sometimes it's good to do it. So why, in this case, is it a mistake?
Well, first of all, one's a conscript, one's a 237, so it's only pretty low morale. If I roll an 8, everybody's broken. They route out of there, and he wins the game because he has control of that building.
Okay.
He has to go into close combat. Well, either in advancing fire phase, break me to force me to route out, or win in close combat.
Right.
So the odds are in my favor, but he's got a chance there.
Yeah, don't make it easy for your enemy. You do not need to fire, and you should not fire in that sort of situation.
Oh, and the other thing that I did too is this unit, he routed. I had him low crawl, and I had him go right there and stop.
Yep.
So that way that's one hex that he can't go through to try to get at that building.
Yep. Little body block.
What did I roll a 2 on here?
Oh, somebody died.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a KIA unit he just brought there.
So again, using your broken units offensively, or in this case defensively, so it curtails your enemy's movement in starter kit. You can do it quite easily in starter kit.
So he's surviving this part of this.
Oh, squad broke.
Oh, and the N1 was pinned. So that was the end of that.
Oof.
Let's see, what do we got left here? Oh, now he goes into, we're just, oh yeah, this guy's broken. So so now he advanced fire. That was the only unit he had left. And route.
And he does have substantial firepower at that particular location. 8 firepower is nothing to spit at. 8 plus 2 is a very good shot.
So again, a great game. This is one I just really love when it comes down to the last phase of the last die roll of the last phase of the last turn. This is going to decide the game. And where it goes into close combat.
Don't tell me you're going to pull a snake out of your butt.
And there's no ambush. And he rolls a 6, which was not enough.
Okay. Oh.
So,
you're 5 CR. Yep, absolutely.
So that's it. And he can't have any good order. He didn't gain control of the building since I'm still in there, even though we're in melee.
Right.
So it came down to that. Like I say, the last die roll of the last phase of the last turn.
Wow.
So it was really a
Very
fun game.
awesome.
Wow. Very. I mean, think of
Great
how,
job.
yeah. Think of how it developed, guys. The Russians lost most of their tanks by like turn 3. He pretty much had one tank that had malfunctioned main armament. What did he have that was pretty much unscathed? All of his infantry. All of his infantry were still in the battle, and especially this one little guy that was coming back here, back door. He had a plan for that guy, and that guy was to harass him as best he could. And he stuck with the plan. He continued to rush, cautiously thinking things out, good, giving him flanks and defensive support from infantry that he's got there. Remember that giant wall of infantry? Now it's gone. If that giant wall of infantry was in here, all these guys probably would be broken, and back here, and the Germans could quite possibly have that building already. So a lot of good things went into the play. Obviously, we need to roll dice, but I mean, use your vehicles. If it's a malfunction, he's now has a different purpose. Repurpose your men, repurpose your support weapons. Really staved off the German attack here. Really, really did. And it allowed to buy his units some time so they could advance on to the last objective, which was difficult to take. This was not an easy building to take. Not at all. And he took some calculated chances to get where he needed to go. It happened to work out for him. I really love the capturing German weapon and repositioning it and killing.
That was classic.
That's classic. That's classic squad leader right there, baby. And like Craig said, last turn of the game, this is where you want your games to come down to, is a good hard fought battle. And I mean, that's a decent, reasonable roll right there. I think a 4 or 5 can possibly win it for either side there. Maybe at least a 4 for the Germans, which isn't impossible to roll. So just a great game. Just a great game overall. Just the ways and means. I thought he was gone when I first. It's like, oh shit, all the Shermans are gone. Like they just get shredded.
You're down to a half a tank at one point.
Yeah, they get shredded.
Yeah.
And
and it speaks to you almost said it yourself in turn 4, maybe. I think you said something about I almost conceded here. Like you passing that personal morale check.
Yeah.
And not giving up. The rolls can go any direction.
And think if
things can turn on a dime.
Yeah, and think if he conceded, he and his opponent in this case, since they were good buddies and they were kind of playing with it together, they would have lost this experience, at least amongst themselves. And at this point they've just shared it with 10 other people. So I mean, that just goes to show you that if there's still obviously not a 1 in 1,000 chance of winning, he still had all of his infantry left. I mean, there's still plenty of game to be had. Make your opponent make a mistake. Make him overconfident. If I was the German and I would have my tank here and I saw nothing but Russians around me, I'd be kind of nervous. It's like, I gotta be honest, it's like, I don't know what the hell, I get the hell out of here. Make him run. And like Craig said, if he's moving, he's not hitting anything, especially infantry and buildings. And that's what you need to defend. So, very great. And again, don't concede too early, gentlemen. Remember what the victory conditions are. You don't need tanks to survive. You don't need any tanks alive in this battle to win the game. He doesn't need his tanks either. You need the buildings. That's what you need. So as long as you continue to focus on the victory conditions, and there's a chance to obtain those, even with ragtag units, then you still have a chance. You still have a chance. And you get to experience, okay, now I don't have the tanks. Now I don't have the tank support. What the hell do I do now? Well, you spread out. You defend what you have with as best you can, and let the enemy come at you, and maybe you'll win little firefights here and there. 1 or 2 broken units up on the hill, right? Really caused him to delay. It caused him to do something like this, shift over here. Take him out of his plan, right? Like Craig said, the Germans took units up here, probably wanting to get here. What did Craig do? He took his plan away from him. Now the Germans have to change their mind. Make him play your game instead of his game. and you'll be well ahead of the curve. Well ahead of the curve.
Half a step ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
Half a step ahead is it, because he didn't plan on this. He didn't plan on having to take this one over here. He was going to smash this guy because this was still under his control. So very good replay, and
Awesome.
yeah, especially since early in your SK career, right, Craig?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been playing since April, so
That's
but
pretty damn
I was
early.
still really
Very young.
I was still really learning AFEs. I mean, we all are, but I mean, yeah, I was definitely new with combined arms.
Okay, with this scenario, my opinion as an ASL player is that this is as close to ASL as you can get.
Right.
This is a perfect transition scenario. You could play this when you're getting to grips with AFEs under SK, and this would be actually, and if you've played this as an SK player, I would recommend this would be one of the first scenarios you play under ASL rules.
Oh, right, just change up the rules. Yep.
Yeah, just incorporate all the AFL rules. The terrain is basically the same. There's a couple of fine-tuning bits because you're going to need to learn the new routing parts, the routing parts that aren't there, and some of the assets. But generally, everything is there.
Yeah.
It's a great scenario. I mean, to the point where I should have known it was SK, but it looks, smells, and feels like an ASL scenario.
Except
there's actually another SK scenario that's really good. Is the Last Ally, Last Victory? I think it's S26.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's another really good one to play before you go ASL.
Nice, yeah.
See, I would be prepared to play this under ASL, just because the good thing about it is it's got really simple SSRs. The SSRs are primarily nice. They're just nice and simple. It's an ASL scenario that works in SK basically.
Well, I was going to say something early on before we even got into the scenario, but when you talked about this amount of stuff gives you this many scenarios, and ultimately, if you really just care about throwing out units onto the board and playing, I mean, there's two sides to this. One is you have at your disposal all the ASL scenarios with starter kit. I mean, you can just play them. I mean, it won't be balanced, likely. And it may not, come out correctly. And certainly some scenarios would be better than others. But the idea of just taking your starter kit rule set knowledge and just playing an ASL scenario, and if it, says something about something that you don't know, then just don't play it. That it opens up a whole lot more scenarios if you don't care about the who wins and who loses. The other side of that coin is this is, that scenario that comes down to the last die roll, the last phase of the last turn. That's that's kind of the mark of a well-balanced scenario, and playing it out in those rules or whatever is only going to happen. It's really well balanced. So it's a little of both sides. I think just to get your feet wet, like you said at the beginning about if you've got a particular interest in a specific battle and there's only an ASL scenario, well, just play it.
Right. Right. Yeah,
and it may not come down to the last close combat phase, but it'll still be fun.
Yeah, play with what you know. Play with what you know.
Right. So
absolutely.
Great stuff. Really great stuff.
Yeah. Really good one there. Really good one there. Well, gentlemen, it's 7:30. We had a lot of those technical issues. John, we will do yours next week. That is another great scenario to look at and watch and learn from. And what didn't we see in this scenario that Craig tried to get done? What asset that the Russians have that we really didn't actually see come into play all that often?
Probably didn't see as much smoke as I think he wanted to use.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was due to a variety of factors. Either A, he ran out of smoke, or B, the 50 took out a couple tanks. A couple tanks here gone. They're gone pretty quickly. There were a couple good smoke shots there with what he had. He used it as best he could, but it really didn't have a pivotal impact in this particular game. again, that might be the thing, is that maybe that's why they give you 6 of them, is that they just get blown up pretty quickly in this one. It seems like every time I chime in on one of these scenarios playing online, I see a bunch of blown up Sherman tanks, and I can see why. In almost every single scenario, they play it differently. The Shermans just don't stand up well to heat 9 and an 88 millimeter and a 50 mil on the side when it surprises you. So it's very challenging, even with the numbers, to get your smoke on the board. That's why when he parked this guy here, when I was reviewing it earlier, I said, "Holy crap! I didn't even see that." And that's a really great hex, because most likely, especially if you park 2 up there, you can designate the other 4 guys as assault vehicles and have these guys just smoke the whole game. And I just didn't see that, and that completely eliminates your hindrance. And it's a long range. Is he going to fire at these guys in the back, or the tanks right up in front of him? Well, I'm probably going to fire at the tanks up in front of me, which gives these guys free reign to do what they need to do. So I didn't even see that. Again, you learn something every single time when you just kind of take a look at it and seeing how other people do things differently. And this is Craig back in his quote early days, and assigning tasks to different units, and didn't happen to work out for him. But again, it doesn't have to work out for you for it to be a good plan. It just, as long as you follow through your plan, and your plan seems to be going okay, or you're doing what you need to do, but it just didn't work out, you're getting it done. You say, hey, I'm coming hard on the left-hand side. I'm going to take these 2 buildings first, push hard at the end of the game. If that was Craig's plan, it worked out. He could have easily not taken this building, but for the most part, he was very successful in what he seemed to want to do. And that's all you really need. That's the big takeaway in any of your games. As long as you have your plan, and as long as the plan doesn't go really wonky, like, you're on boxcars all day long and things like that, or, you're taking a couple bad shots here and there, you're going to lose some games anyway, because you're not always going to have the best plan. But just reflect back upon their game, especially with our logs that we have here, that you can easily do, and say, you know what? Maybe charge that HMG wasn't so good when I didn't have any smoke on him, or something like that. Any little thing can really change the perspective of the game. 1447 killed 3 units. One captured gun destroyed half of the German armor.
Right.
One malfunctioned tank up in a hill in the right spot, very defensive position, Tiger's not coming after him, really stopped the entire thing. 3 little things: squad, captured weapon, malfunction. It's like the bad news bears of ASL, you gotta capture German tank. You guys don't know how to use it. You got a broken gun up here. I mean, this is really, to be honest with you, that's probably what won the game for him. I mean, popping this tank off probably gave Craig a huge morale boost. Personal task check +1. He probably went fanatic on that.
Right.
This guy over here, then he gets the gun back. I mean, geez, I didn't even think the gun would be back for the whole game. That's another huge boost, and another morale downer for the Germans. Like, shit, now I got to deal with the 75. This 2-4 machine guns have been tearing me up all game. Now I got to deal with the 75. And then the back door on the HMG. Nobody likes that happen to their units. Nobody. I don't care if you're brand new or you've been playing the game for 85 years. Nobody likes that to happen to their guys.
No, that's real shame. That's shame.
Yeah.
Shame. There are some really good micro tactical decisions as well in this. Sometimes it's not just risk minimization, but limiting your opponent's options. Going into the hex of the, going into the same hex as the Tiger, shut that Tiger down.
Yeah, that's another one. Yep, that's another big one.
Yeah.
Going, and let's not forget the victory control, the location, building control. As soon as you go into an unoccupied building, you own it.
Yep. Even if you get killed.
Yeah, even if you get killed. So sometimes it is actually worth going in the movement phase. Because as it was, he didn't kill you, and you were actually potentially threatening going into the same location into close combat of the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one mistake that I made related to that is, in this hex here, I had all the squads combined. I should have split them up, had, even a half squad with a light machine gun there. So then he would not have had an opportunity then at all to challenge that building.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
He
split them
wouldn't
up.
be able to take both. Much like I had a wall of hexes there, or I had a wall of units there, and I had the DM squad there blocking that. If I had split up the two half squads between that two, he couldn't take both hexes. He could only get one.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. Really, really, really good game. Over lots of little things happening, which doesn't have to lead to a victory, but just leads to a really good game. I mean, the Germans tried as much as they could, and you saw the Germans' adjustments. Chasing down the tanks, destroying the tanks, taking as many nice shots with his 50mm as it is. He got unfortunate on his early HMG, and the Germans actually had a I don't want to say a decent chance at this point after he lost his Tiger and he's come off the hill, but at turn 5 he was still in it. You saw it when the whole entire Russian front had to retreat back because they're broken. The Germans still had a decent chance of dropping in there and maybe stealing a victory location away. That 5 smoke for the 838s, very powerful. 838, 8 firepower, 8 morale, point blank in the advanced fire phase. It's going to do some damage to 7 morale units. So the German was definitely in this game for most of the game until right at the end where he had to just do some desperation stuff, and it just didn't happen to work out for him. But great play. Yeah, this is a good game. It's a good game. So if anybody else has any other questions, we can field those questions there. Otherwise, it's 7:45. It might be super late for some of you guys back east. And and next week, John, we'll fire up your game with Craig as well. That's another great game there, and we'll go in discussion on that one. And we just reflect. I'll just reflect upon that game next week when we start up, how the Germans had their setup here, and we'll see how the Germans have their setup in the other game for next week. And again, somebody else plays the game, they're going to play it differently, and this gives us an opportunity to see different types of setups in a shorter period of time. So, with that, gentlemen, I'll just go ahead and just either take any questions or just kick it out and wish you guys a great week and a great gaming week, and hopefully we'll be here next Tuesday as well. Sorry about for the.
This is a comment. I'm not the kind of guy that really cares about winning or losing. Generally, if I could have played the German in this scenario the way it played out, I'd still have had a wonderfully successful scenario to play.
Yep.
So yeah, great stuff.
Good deal. All right, thank you, gentlemen, and we will see you next week.
Good night, all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, take care.
See you next week.
Cheers.
All right, so there you have it. Great synopsis of a great game. Personal morale checks were made and failed on both sides, probably. I think the biggest takeaway here that I saw initially was Craig was out of tanks. He was gone. All of his tanks were gone. He had nothing to oppose enemy tanks. The tank he had, malfunctioned main armament. First of all, it can't destroy the Tiger anyway, and 1-to-1 it's not going to get a chance to. It just isn't. So what did he do? Repurpose the vehicle. When things go south, then, pack for traveling, people. Pack for traveling because you're heading south too. So head south with the wind and change your plan. Reutilize your resources, what you have available. Take what the opponent gives you, and then try to abuse that as much as you can, as long as what he's giving you could lead towards the victory conditions. All right. So thanks again for watching it, and you can always support us at Patreon, things like that. Takes a lot of time, as well as your other content creators. For every piece of content that most of your content creators put out there, it's about a game or 2 games worth of time that they're giving up to be able to present their information and things to you. There's a lot of planning that goes behind these and a lot of preparatory stuff. So keep that in mind that, as these guys are playing the games and they produce the material, it takes them out of their normal gaming. So they're giving up 1/2 to 2/3 of their gaming just to present this material to you, depending on how often they put it out. So keep that in mind, and we'll be fine. Leave comments on their pages. They all want comments. Everybody. Just comments, comments, comments. Hey, I really like the idea of them doing this in the game. It was kind of cool. That's all you really need to say, you know. Or, hey, I really wish the screen was a better color, too bright, or something like that. Just any little comment you make to make the products better, to get more people involved and interested in what we're doing here and on other channels. You know, ASL Real Time and Illuminating Rounds, you know, they, you know, almost doesn't need to be spoken for because they're both great episodes, both great content creators. So, you know, support your content creators, give them feedback, give them thumbs up, let them know that you're out there watching their stuff, having a good time. All right. So with that, we'll catch you guys later, and we'll see you next time on Tactical Tuesday.